Welcome back to the front row seat. I'm out on my walkabout today. I have a different phone, so no telling what'll happen now. Oh, I don't know. I'm not very high tech, but I'm learning. Those challenges are good. They're not fun at first, though. Just trying to get used to new things is always a challenge. Things are changing so fast now, it'll make you used to it. Well, I guess I just want to start here. See, this is the IP address of February. And I don't have a lot of good data around February because it's so freaking cold. This is Texas, and look at everything. It's just all dead, freezing. It looks like the sun's out, but it's not really. It's freezing out here, but that's okay. You can always put on more coats and stuff. So I was just gonna have a walkabout. I don't have a topic really. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. One of them being, that's what I was thinking about earlier, is this February IP address, And I thought about it for a minute, and it was like, there's just not that much good about February. I was really having to dig down deep to find something positive in this one, because, I've done 60 Februarys so far, and they all have been cold. And here in Texas, February is the coldest month of the whole year, and it's the deepest part of the winter. And it's a bit of a challenge because, here in Texas, we are used to, we have 3 months in the summer that hover around 100 degrees. And we're kind of acclimated for that, We can tolerate heat. But wow, when it gets cold, as you can see, there's nobody. It's just such a different thing. Feels so different. But I'm sure it's just the opposite for people that live up north, If they came here in the summer, they would, how do you do this? Well, we just are used to it. So, even though it's cold February, I was working at finding some positive things to think about. And one of the things I was thinking about was, February. So, as our family and friends, and we've seen it all, you go through and get through the holidays, and then January is just kind of like a relief, right? Because it's all over with. The chaos settles out. But then what you got is, catching up on things that had to go to the wayside to get Christmas for the kids and all of that stuff. So January is like, everything's better. We're going to go back into our lives and do our routines again. And then after the wears off around the end of January, then February comes in. And then you still have to, pay off the bills and all the stuff. And it's the coldest month. So February, and maybe that's why they have Valentine's Day right in the middle of it. It's to help you. Just try to love something. Love anything that you can find. So I was thinking about, well, what do I love? Well, I love squirrels. There's one right there. There he goes. Oh, what a cute little picture. Let's see if I can get him. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's gonna leave. But I can find him over here though. So I'm just out here in February trying to find something I can love. Because, oh, burr. Oh, I took my glove off. Oh my gosh. Ah, he's gone. I give up. So anyway, I was thinking of something to love, and oh, it's like, I know. I'll think about, I love hot chocolate and warm blankets. and you know, it's just a process of, as life challenges roll by us, is just finding things that we love and focusing on those things we can find. It is work, and it does take practice, but coming from, oh, there's a redbird right there. I'm trying to focus in on him for you. There he is. Oh, look at him. He's all puffed out. He's a big fat redbird. Aw. He's not too cold. Aw. You know, the truth is, I used to be one of the most negative people that I knew. It was me. I did have a hard time coming up in this world, and it affected me in ways. And oh, where'd it go? And it feels so much better as I've learned and grown from it, that, you know, life is a challenge and some things in it are really hard, and that's just the way life is, and accepting it, and then working on myself to become a more positive person. And I don't have it down 100%, because sometimes things happen that trigger me, that I'm still working on some fears and wherever that's at. But I do know this: I am no longer the most negative person in the room anymore like it used to be. So that's a bonus, and that's a win. And just knowing that and thinking about that makes me feel better all the time. It's like, oh, remember when? You know, back all the way through my, 20s and 30s and all those years, I had a lot of fun too, but I didn't have a positive mentality. I didn't even try to think positive. Didn't know I needed to. Didn't know it was affecting my life in such a negative way. And some of the things I was doing and thinking in wrong ways was causing the dysfunction. I was doing it. And I had an experience happen. This has been a few years back. And I tell you, in that moment, I just caught the whole thing about being positive and versus getting in those negative feedback loops. But I understand how it happens. It's just something that happens. But I was sitting there with a friend at the downtown Denton Square. I love that place. It just has such a good vibe there. And we were sitting there eating lunch, and I hear this noise, and this noise was strange. It was a different kind of noise. And so I was looking around trying to figure out what it was. Well, then it turned the corner, and where we were eating was right up next to the street, where cars parked. So we were eating kind of out on the porch of the restaurant, but the street was right there. So I'm sitting there eating, and this was back in 2020. So we all had, to go in a restaurant, you had to wear the mask, but you could take it off when you was eating or whatever. So we're sitting there, and I said, let's sit outside so I don't have to deal with the mask thing. It wasn't my favorite, and I was doing my best with it. And well, then we're sitting there, and then the noise happens, and I look over, and here comes the street sweeper. And it was coming right down in front of the street, right in front of the restaurant where we were going to eat. And I'm looking at this thing thinking, you got to be kidding me. Street sweeper is coming down the street, and it's going to blow all that into my food. This is awesome. Well, I didn't think that. I went straight into negativity in my mind. And the person sitting next to me, who I was with, was sitting there. And when I look over at them, there they are. They have put their mask back on and is sitting there doing high five motions and playing with this sweet street sweeper. And I looked at that, and that one just hit home. I looked at him and I went, you know what? He just took the positive way out of the situation. I took the negative way out. There is a way out of these situations. You don't have to just go to the negative. Even if it looks like it might be negative, you know, which, yeah, it could have, you know, put dust all in our food. But you should have seen them there having such a great time. The street sweeper man and my friend, they were just having a communion, going, yeah, street sweepers are awesome. And then I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, he just did a mental trick that I don't know very well. And I'm going to learn that. I'm going to learn how to do that. Because, yeah, we were out there eating. But when I looked down at my plate, it's like, we were almost done, you know? And it wasn't really that big a deal. If it was that big a deal, I could have, you know, picked up my plate and went inside. But that's the thing about these triggers, isn't it? They kind of get you, and then you're in it without being aware that there's all these other choices, because when you're in a trigger, all the choices go away. And then it just goes to negativity, you know, because it's a pattern, it's habit. And that's all it is. It's just habit. And so as I watched him beautifully handle that scene, and it was not just that, it was the beautiful vibes of it all. Because, you know, the street sweeper guy was happy. You know, my friend was happy. And then in the end, I was happy too, because I witnessed such an educational scene that, you know, that story has just helped my life in so many ways. I've thought about it quite a bit since then. And how, you know, the system just kind of gives you what you need when you need it. Oh, yeah, it is a struggle at times. It's like that story of that guy who rolls that rock uphill all the time, you know, and he never gets to see it when it gets to the top, because it gets to the top and rolls right back down. And so maybe he wasn't unhappy, or maybe he wasn't upset about the rock not staying at the top. Maybe he knew that rolling the rock was his thing, you know, just being able to roll the rock, being able to be here and learn and grow and evolve. See, and then it kind of takes the sting out of it, because some of this realm can sting a bit. It does. And that's why we have loved ones and people around us that are here for us. And I tell you,